Hi, welcome to As a Man module. Let me share a quick fact with you. Do you know fertility industry is valued more than 21 billion, I'll say 21 billion globally by 2020. This was an article published in Newsweek magazine. That's a whopping 21 billion, and that's a lot. And the second fact that I'm going to share with you, this is the male partner is either the sole or a contributing cause for about 40% of the cases with infertility. 40% of the case with infertility. And this is a fact from American Society of Reproductive Medicine, ASRM. There's a reason why I kind of put these two together. Majority of the time, the $21 billion industry that I'm talking about, it focuses almost exclusively on women. Almost always exclusively on women. That's a lot. And what about men? Where you're also a contributing factor, which is 40%. Men are oftentimes a forgotten or an ignored entity when it comes to infertility. Initially, when I started working with people going through fertility challenges, I was primarily focusing on women for most of the time. And very, very quickly, my perspective changed. Because ever since I started talking to their male partners, I kind of started seeing, oh my God, they are struggling too. But we don't care about them. We don't ask about them. We don't even ask how they are feeling. That's not right. They're forgotten. They also go through this. They also go through this, just like how women is. They may show it differently. They may not be that emotional, just like how we women are. But they go through the pain too. They go through the loss too. They go through the emotions too. And I'll talk about some of the given factors for men. Majority of the time, if they are not, dealing with male factors with their infertility, they are actually in the supportive role. They actually have two roles there. They have to support their partner because this partner is going through all sorts of treatments and injections and hormonal changes and the moods and, the reactions to medications, everything. And number two, with any suckiness that's happening in their journey, they are actually feeling it too. So they have those two roles that they have to do, and they have to do it beautifully, actually. That's the big challenge for them. And men are oftentimes in the ancillary role, right? They are the ones who are giving injections. My husband used to be so prompt, so disciplined. He used to come back from work because if the injection needs to be given at 7 o'clock, he'll be home by 6:30. And I'm sure if you're a male partner, or if you're a woman listening through this, I'm sure you can understand this, what I'm talking about. They may not be going through the treatments by themselves, but many of the men that I talk to, they care. They care about their partners, and they get frustrated. Like Pradeepa, I am so frustrated. I really wanted to take this pain off my wife. Whatever I can do, but I cannot. I cannot do anything right now. Everything is on her, right? Men wants to share this, but they can't. That's the reality of the situation. And for men, it impacts their sex life and their social life. Infertility. One of my friends calls infertility as a complex, massive problem. Pradeepa, we don't talk about this. It's a hush-hush subject. But you know what? It's a complex, massive problem out there. And there are many emotions that men experience going through infertility. Anger towards the process. Because there is only so much they can control. Men tend to be fixers in general. This is something they cannot fix. So there is that anger. There is this frustration, right? Oh my God, I have no idea what my wife is going through or what my female partner is going through. And there is that frustration there. And one of my client, he wrote to me the other day, like, Pradeepa, we just failed our 8th IUI. We just failed our 8th IUI. I am so worried about my wife. He put her name in there. I'm so worried about my wife. I'm feeling so helpless here. I have no idea how do I support her here. She says she's going to be going on a shell. And one of my other client, this is how he used to take it on, the aggression. When things don't go well, men tends to get aggressive sometimes. And this gentleman, he used to go to the shooting range and shoot. Blow out the steam. Those are different ways that men tend to express some of their emotions. And there's a lot more emotions that we typically don't talk about. How about fear? How about curious? Shame. Shame comes up, especially when there is a male factor involved. There's a male pride, right? That male pride is destroyed now because I have a problem with my fertility, with my reproductive ability. And there is this anger, right? There's this frustration. And of course, the guilty feeling, right? Oh my God, I cannot support my wife here. Or I have a problem, I don't know how to go about this, and I feel guilty. And of course, the grief and worry, right? All those emotions are there for men too. And I actually wanted to share 5 tips. 5 tips, 5 things to do that will help you in your journey, to take control of your journey. Even though you are in this with your partner, sometimes you do have to take care of yourself. Number 1, be intentional. Be intentional about your role in this journey. One of my friends who went through this, he called himself, Pradeepa, I used to be the Chief Relaxation Officer. That's the name that he gave for himself, Chief Relaxation Officer. I love it. I love it. By the way, he's a CEO of a company, so he kind of thinks and talks in those terms. But I love it. So whatever that is going to be, maybe you are a Chief Movie Planning Officer. Maybe you are a Chief Romantic Date Officer. Whatever that is, right? Be more intentional about your role in that journey. And please, please don't forget to get support from your friends or your family member, or even support groups. Oftentimes, men kind of sweep this under the rug, like, I don't have to. No, it's all right. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. But when you're going through something like this, everything is not okay. Don't sweep your feelings under the rug. And I actually use this analogy. If you keep sweeping your dirt under the rug, you know what's going to happen? Eventually, when you open the rug, it's going to be a stinky bomb. It's going to be a stinky bomb, and that stinkiness is not good for yourself and for your relationship. So don't sweep your emotions under the rug. Get support. And doing things, this is a tip that one of my clients gave. He actually do things with his very close friend. This is just one gentleman that he does these things, like going for a golf outing or, going for a movie, whatever they like to see. But in that, they don't set time to talk about the struggles. But when they were at it, they kind of have a casual conversation. Hey man, our last IVF didn't work out. It's really sucking. I have no idea how to support my wife, right? Conversation like that. It doesn't have to be a sit down and, oh my God, we are going to have a serious conversation. Men, sometimes they don't, care about those things. They're not comfortable with those things. So do something and then also talk about it. And number 4, talking to a coach like myself, like a fertility coach like myself, who truly have experienced this and understand what you are going through. because I have been on the other side as well. I have gone through infertility as well. I can offer you a safe space and to explore your feelings and how you wanted to move forward. And number 5, talk to a doctor, right? Talk to your doctor and see whether they can offer you any tips to improve your fertility. Women, you don't have to tell this to women. Women proactively go and talk and ask this question in the different support groups, like, does this herb work? Does this tea work, right? We're really good at that. But oftentimes men typically don't do that. So for those, I would recommend you talk to your doctor. I talked about things to do. I'm going to share few things not to do. Please don't get drunk or do drugs or smoke. They're not good for you. And don't go do something pretty stupid like, for releasing your aggression, like shooting range or like fast car racing or skydiving or things like that. It may not be the right time to do those things. And avoid extreme stress and being intense all the time. And talk to somebody, right? Not talking to somebody and like kind of sweeping it under the rug and pretending it's not there. That's going to be a problem. So avoid not talking to somebody. And this is something that I heard from one of my friends. Experimenting your manliness with other women just to prove that you are fertile. Don't do that. It not only hurts you, it hurts your relationship immensely. And last but not the least, it's either a old wives' tale or a true fact, I don't know, tight underwear. Avoid wearing tight underwear. That's why a lot of men going through infertility challenges change to briefs, including my husband. All right? So, I'll talk to you in the workbook section.